Gather round, adventurers bold in the realm where tales unfold. The podcast of heroes, a quest divine, where imagination takes flight. Let's combine. Roll the dice, let the story begin. Monsters and magic, the battles within. From dragons to dungeons, a thrilling ride. Action Surge podcast where legends collide. Action Surge, it's time to embark on a podcast journey where dungeons fall. Venture forth with warriors true in the world of D&D. We welcome you. Action Surge, it's time to embark on a podcast journey where dungeons fall. Venture forth with warriors true in the world of D&D. Welcome you.
We're transitioning to the desktop. Oh no, it's starting over. Don't let it start over. Oh no.
Oh no! Oh well.
Okay, that's enough of that. There we go. I fixed it. Meanwhile, back. Okay, so you guys have had the long rest at the Sapphire Mage's castle, and you guys have had like taken a long rest since then, and you guys have made your way back to the World Serpent Inn with the direction of Peen leading you back to the World Serpent Inn through the ethereal plane. And you guys were gone for like 36 hours, but here it seems like 36 minutes.
Yeah. Didn't
Something
seem
along
very
those
long.
lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 1 hour. Ours was like 3 or 4, something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
one day is an hour on the astral plane. So yeah. Or 24 hours. Wait, not 20. I don't remember. It's a long time on the ethereal plane, and it's not so long here. Or something. Actually, it's kind of the reverse, right? Because 24 hours, 10 hours would be 10 hours on the ethereal plane would be like 10 days, I think, on the prime material. I think that's what it was. Something along those lines.
No, I think it's the reverse because we were worried about how long it would take for the person we sent word to help us with the betrayal.
Right. That's why it would be longer on the prime material plane because it took an hour on the ethereal plane for him to receive it took 8 hours, I think is what it was. Or so, I don't know. It took a long time. No, it was 10 hours. That's what it was. Yeah. So 1 hour on the 1 hour on the prime material plane is 10 in the astral plane. I think something along those lines. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is the reverse.
It's a big difference.
It is the reverse. Yes, you're right. So yeah. Anyway, point is time passed differently
Oh yeah.
By a major amount.
by a major amount. Yeah. All right. So at any rate, I'm working on this map here. You guys head back to the World Serpent Inn.
Yay!
Yay!
As you guys are heading back to the World Serpent Inn, you guys notice that when you guys get there, it's almost like you barely even left, and Mitchifer's at the counter, and he's like, "Welcome back, friends," and he's very happy to see you guys, and ask you if you want a round of drinks or whatever, and kind of goes from there. Anybody? Bueller?
Bueller.
Sure, I'll take a round of drinks.
I'll take a round of drinks.
Okay. So, at any rate,
I prefer when we're fighting.
what's that?
I prefer when we're fighting.
Prefer when you're fighting?
Oh, you like to drink while fighting?
He says,
Oh,
"Oh gosh, dang it."
Oh, she used to make a drunken monk.
Eddie White, Drunken Monkey.
He says,
Yeah. No, I prefer when we're fighting enemies to parts like this in the game because it's more exciting.
I have to agree with you.
"Oh no,
Oh,
oh no, I can't believe I did that."
sometimes you'll enjoy the slower down times. Trust me. When you
Let me
play
move this
long
to the
enough,
GM layer.
you would enjoy the slower times as well as the combat times.
Come on. There we go.
Holy.
It's okay. I'm gonna fix this because I did something bad.
That looks kind of cool.
Something fancy again.
Huh?
There we go.
What, Luther?
Why did it do this? There we go.
Ooh, I need to clean that.
Change layer to map layer. Okay, there we go.
How do I?
Whoa. Okay. I see what happened. That does not make me happy. Oh boy. Okay, I didn't realize I already had a dynamic lighting thing going on for this map. Alright, hang on. Control
Hang on to what?
Z. Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. Nope, it's not gonna work. Damn it. Alright, we're gonna fix this by not fixing it. Hang on, let's see. Do I have dynamic lighting turned on? No, I don't. Good. Okay, good deal. In that case, I can just take all of this and get rid of it. Dang, dang, dang. I
Well,
don't know
we're
what
trying to
layer
figure
that's
this
on.
out. What's your goal on for us is at 10%.
Alright. And what's the Watcher goal for?
From Watcher of Realms.
Watcher of Realms. Yeah, so that's a game we're involved
I'm
with.
still
Involved
plodding
with.
Yeah, I'm just plodding along with it. Could definitely use help.
You could use help.
But we can always use help.
Oh, darn it.
Well, at least in there.
Alright.
But I'm just plodding along, keeping it the way it's going. I haven't really communicated to a lot of people, so that's probably another reason why it's kind of quiet, because I don't speak enough.
That's alright. They'll either join or they won't.
Yeah, it's fun either way.
It's also a good game that you don't necessarily have to communicate, but it does help sometimes, especially if you're planning on the dragon attacks or whatever, you know, that whatever you need to do that is cooperative type stuff. You know, the clan raids or whatever you call them. Okay. All right. So, but anyways, you're back at the World Serpent Inn, having a few drinks. Of course, Mitchifer overhears that Kea, it's Kea, right?
Yeah, Kea.
Kea prefers fighting, and says, well, you know, there's always the sparring pit, and you know, kind of refers you to a small little area where you could go and practice fighting or sparring with people and such.
Cool.
And he says, I trust your trip was a pleasant one.
It was interesting.
He says, well, I hate to admit, but I kind of let the beans spill a little, and well, you know, I know you aren't necessarily per se out to be emissaries as a career, but I kind of let it spill that you were working as emissaries for Arabelle, and well, one thing got to another, and well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Amir, and this young gentleman comes up, young-looking gentleman, with a big mustache, and he's wearing.
Sorry, pause. I'm not seeing any of our characters
What?
on here.
What?
I'm not seeing any of our character tokens on here.
Nope, they're not on there. I'm still messing with the map. But you can put your character on there if you want.
That would be hard.
Why would it be hard?
I don't know how to do that.
Then how do you know it's hard? You go over and
You drag your character to the. You can drag your character to the map.
journal and find your character, and you just drag it and drop it.
Eh.
Dang it.
Okay.
There, that should be about right. So hang on, I'm gonna been
We
messing
have
with
20
stuff.
members.
I got it messed up. There we go.
In our guild, we have
God
20 members.
dang it! Okay. Being distracted. It's
Sorry.
irritating. And I'm hitting the wrong keys. I'm hitting the wrong things constantly. There we go. That works. Why does it have everybody? What the hell is going on right now? There we go. All right, here I will put you all on the thing so you guys can. There you go. Garnet put himself on there. I don't know why, but nobody's character's coming up for me, so.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't messing with my character
Neither was I.
on that part.
I didn't say you were. I just
Well,
said nobody's
about-
characters are coming up for me. Which means what? Where are your characters at? Are you under Audubius's
Main
tower?
characters.
What?
Under main characters.
Yeah, it's not showing up for me.
Oh, okay.
Ah, there it is. Yes, it is. Okay, I found it. Woohoo! Okay, there's Luther. There's Tharja. Why is Luther sideways?
He's taking a nap.
I guess.
Oh, sorry.
Gavor. Garnet's on there. Sebastian's on there. And where's Kaya? There she is. There's Kaya. Alright. So you guys may position yourselves on the map however you would like to. That kind of thing. Put yourselves wherever. But, at any rate, I lost my page.
Oh, how embarrassing! How embarrassing! The DAM lost his page.
Well, you
Got it.
know,
Jar Jar
because I'm the
Binks.
okayest DM.
Oh, so you
cannot-
win.
You cannot strive for this level of mediocrity.
True. Sometimes it just comes naturally.
It just comes naturally. Alright, so, where were we?
Oopsie.
We were at the bar, having some
meeting-
drinks,
Yep, meeting the what's his name?
and you're meeting Amir.
Yep.
1 second here. Up. Yeah, this is a little very rough. Like, see, some people like talk about how detailed some of the old stuff was, and some people don't realize that not all of it was that way. A lot of it was very much the opposite. It was very much like these are the characters. This is where it's supposed to take place. Here you go, run with it.
Sometimes we'd use Legos as a character
Yeah,
or dice.
something like that. All right. And sometimes that character would have about as much depth as a Lego.
Yep.
Alright. But anyway, so, hail and well met, adventurers. Welcome to the realm of imagination and dice rolls. Action surge, where epic tales unfold, dragons breathe fire, and heroes rise against the darkness. Join us as we embark upon the journey through the fantastical world of Dungeons & Dragons. So grab your dice, sharpen your wits, and prepare to immerse yourself in a story where anything is possible. We'll tell tales of valor, weave stories that will echo through the ages, and talk a lot of trash, because the action starts now. Alright, so where we're at, in the Midgard Inn there, the World Serpent Inn, you meet up with a young man with a mustache. He introduces himself as Amir Ben Abbas. He looks a lot like a human, except for there's something almost otherworldly about him. And I think Garnet can probably relate the most, although it's hard to tell why he looks different.
I have a question.
Okay.
Would it be related to? Does he seem like more celestial or demonic type?
Neither.
Okay. Can I do a nature check to see if I can figure it out?
Hold on 1 second. Oh wait, I take that back. His name is not Amir. His name is Abdul. That's what it is. Abdul.
Abdul.
Yes.
Can I make a perception check to try to figure it out?
Sure. And
my
everybody
perception sucks.
can make a perception check. Garnet, you'll have an advantage.
They're 22 and a 19, so 22 is a high one.
Okay. So Garnet and Seraphina, Kaya. James. James got a negative 998. He can't perceive anything. Okay.
He can't perceive the snake in his boot.
What is your wisdom modifier?
3.
And then what is your Ah, jeez Louise. What is everybody's proficiency bonus?
Mine's a 5.
Are you proficient in perception, James?
3. No. I'm proficient in.
Okay, James, your proficiency
yeah.
bonus can't be a 3 if John's is a 5. You understand? Everybody's proficiency bonus is going to be the same.
Mine's a.
Oh, my proficiency bonus. Sorry, it's a 3. It's got to be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 3.
I was going to say, I don't think it's a 5, but...
No, I'm proficient in it.
Shoot me now.
No, sorry. I'm still waking up.
Me too. Just don't make it
Me
easier,
too.
though. All right. So, anyway, so James, you got like a 3 and a 3. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So 6. So it'd be you got a 18. Or sorry, 17 total. So. All right. So.
Me.
Luther, I don't see a roll from you.
Make the book.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a perception check. Okay, Luther's kind of off in his own little world, looking at the murky, cloudy area. You know, like kind of how the scenery kind of fades into almost like a murkiness and almost like a foggy background. At any rate, however, Garnet and Kea and Gavor, you all recognize the thing that you see about him that's kind of noticeably different is he's got this almost primal aura, elemental in nature. You think for a moment that he might be an air genasi, but it's not quite that. It's something else.
Realizes too, she got a 23.
What was that?
I hear him out.
What did you say, Shay?
Barger realizes too, she got a 23.
No, she got a 15. She rolled at advantage. It wasn't an advantage for her. The first roll with the +3 is hers. Also that +3. She didn't say she was guiding herself, so the +3 doesn't count. But 15 is what she would have normally.
Yep.
All right. So
You pinning over here.
is anybody going to ask about his elemental nature?
I will. Garnet will. Garnet will say, you seem to be possibly a cousin of mine. We share some elemental features that remind me of myself. Can you let's see how I want to put this. Am I guessing correctly?
He says, cousin? Perhaps, he says, although I am not of the earthly persuasion, he says, I am an air elemental. I am from the elemental plane of air. My name is Abdul. Hang on one second. Abdul Ben Amir, and he says, I am the son of the Amir Ben Abbas.
Well, hopefully this is a good meeting, and it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
He says, I have heard
Let's-
you are emissaries, and
Uh,
I have heard that perhaps you could help me with a problem of mine.
well, let's take one of these booths where it's a little more private, and let's discuss what your problem is, and let's see if we can help.
Okay, he says, agreed, and he goes and he sits down. You notice his clothes are like probably the finest tailored clothes, you know, that you've seen on a person, or like that you've seen on most people. You know, like as fine as any you've seen, anyways. And probably they're somewhat magical. Um, you guys go and sit down. You wanna? We'll pick a booth over here. We'll have you guys sit down over here somewhere. Just drag you over yonder.
Yeah, just dragging us along. Just dragging along. Dragging along.
At any rate, so he comes and sits down with you, and he says, um, he says, I am the Prince of the Jan. He says, my father has been kidnapped. The abduction occurred only 5 hours ago. Me and my father, Amir Ben Abbas, were traveling through the elemental plane of air to warn a Jinn Caliph about a threat to his people. Ben Abbas had heard of the sorcerer who planned to enslave dozens of Jinn in magic rings, and as Jinn are normally disposed to their freedom, it would be a very bad thing. He says, my father wanted to warn his ally directly. As custom, he had not even told me most of the details of this until we were on our way. As we were flying, a great storm surrounded us, full of noises like blowing sand, and when it ended, my father was gone. I found this camel bone, and a magic mouth sprang from it, saying, "Time is short. You may gain the release of Abu, or you may plan the funeral." I know nothing of this Abu except for that he is an enemy of the Caliph. He says, I fear us Jan are of two worlds. He says, although I am like you in some respects, I am not a Genasi, and I am more centered in the prime material plane here. And so I fear that no Jan can survive away from the prime material plane for long. And so I worry for my father. He says, I can get 3 members of my father's tribe to help guide you. But they can guide you to the point where Ben Abbas vanished. But
Any idea who would want to?
He says, just enemies that I know of. Something having to do with this Abu. He says, though I'm not that familiar with who this Abu is. Just an enemy of the Caliph that I know. Any thoughts?
I would like to make an insight check just to see how straightforward he's being.
Okay. on one second. It's taking a minute. 19. You think he's being pretty straightforward. You feel like he's probably, as the prince, he probably doesn't have a lot in the way of practical knowledge.
Right.
And as the prince, he's only so knowledgeable of certain things going on with his father and his father's kingdom and that.
Okay. I say, I'll say, give us a minute to talk it over amongst ourselves.
He says, I can offer you both this carpet and this broom if it will help.
I say, I was going to say we don't have any way to fly, so we're going to need definitely a way to fly. But also, it sounds like what we may also need some other equipment. But let us also talk this over amongst ourselves real quickly.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Well, we kind of, Luther, you know as well as I know, it started all with Chloe, the Dryad, helping out with the blades and stuff. That looks like that's what we're supposed to do.
When you guys go to maybe consult or ask about Grandolith, you notice that Grandolith is just missing. Seems to have walked off somewhere and disappeared, so to speak.
Maybe we should just leave a message. Since he's not around, let's leave a message here for him if he shows up while we're gone.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right, so
Does everybody have a magic weapon in this group?
Yes.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, it's something that off for your head type.
I think Luther has one of the most powerful magical weapons in the game.
Yeah, I know Luther has a magic weapon.
You gave me the moon blades.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
I was gonna say I need some kind of magic weapon. I have my bow, but that's only because I give it a magic plus because of my artificer ability.
Right. So, the magic carpet. Hang on one second. Let me grab this page here. Man, my computer is doing some slow ass shiznit.
Mine does the same.
Mine doesn't usually, but for some reason today it is being a pain. Hold on one second. Quit. Exit. I was gonna look up something and I forgot what it was. Oh, I remember. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it is a large carpet of flying and a broom of flying. The large carpet of flying is 6 feet by 9 feet. I believe it can hold 4 or 6 people. At any rate, so it can hold 800 pounds. So yeah, and then there's a broom of flying.
I think I should do the broom of flying. My opinion, but it's
think-
up for everybody else. I think
I-
we should discuss who.
Luther should do the broom of flying.
What was that, John?
Well,
think
Luther
Luther
would be
should
one
do
of the
the broom of
happiest of us.
flying.
I think he should get the
Hold on,
right.
everybody talked at once.
I think Luther should do the broom of flying.
That'd be
Because he's-
funny.
He's going to be the heaviest single character, and
Oh,
we're going
right.
to have a lot of weight on the carpet because we have the steel defender on the carpet.
Okay, and what did you say, Shay?
I said basically the same thing.
Okay. All right. And probably 2 people could probably fit on the broom.
Me and Shay can fit on the broom.
No, I was thinking Luther. I kind of agree with Luther on the broom.
Luther and Sebastian on the broom.
I don't think Sebastian could be on the broom.
What's that?
I don't think Sebastian could ride on the broom.
Why?
He's a bear.
And
I mean,
he's not really a
Is he
bear.
he's shaped like a bear.
Yeah.
I just don't think he could sit on a broom. He's probably about the size of the broom.
I maybe he's medium size.
Yeah, that's true.
Luther's
but-
medium size.
And I don't think he can sit up on his, like. I mean, I guess he could sit up on his hindquarters.
He doesn't have to be on his hindquarters. He could be on all fours. Okay, here. Lay a broom on the ground. Lay a broom on the ground.
Yeah.
Could a bear sit on a broom on the ground?
Yes.
Now imagine that. Now imagine that broom flying.
A bear lay on a broom on the ground?
I mean, sit like a dog sits with its hind legs and its front legs all in like relatively close proximity of itself.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think somebody else could sit on it with it.
That's true. That's true. Luther might not be able to fit on it with the bear on there. Luther's riding the bear on the broom. This one.
Oh gosh, giggity.
That's
All right. So So Luther's on the broom, and the other 4 of you are on the carpet. Or no, there's 5 of you,
5,
including the bear,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Now somebody else could ride with Luther on the.
Do you guys have a bag of holding?
Yeah,
You could put the bear in the bag of holding,
that's true.
because probably won't have enough room for you all on the carpet either if the bear's on there too, because he probably weighs almost the full 800 pounds by himself, I would think.
Yeah, that's probably true.
He's mostly metal, so.
Metal. What if the broom break?
On the carpet? Maybe. I don't know why the broom would break on the carpet, but maybe. Anyway, so okay, so are you guys in agreement then? Is that what you're saying?
yes.
Yes, but I'm going to ask him if he could supply a magical scimitar before we head out on our quest.
He says, I can provide something. And
Okay.
he says, one moment, and he walks over to two guys that look like basically their dresses, they look like kind of like palace guards. Yeah, one second. And one of the guards bows and and then like he pulls the weapon out and hands it over to this, you know, this Jen, and this looks like a translucent weapon made of air.
Oh.
And it kind of like looks like it's swirling in his hands, and he brings it over to you.
Okay.
When you pick it up, it has almost no heft to it.
Okay.
And it is a scimitar of air. It also, let's see, hold on one second here. It also gives off like a radiant light in a 20-foot radius. Like a torch, so it'd be bright light
Right.
20 feet and dim light 20 feet. And its normal attack damage is 2d6, and once per round, while you're wielding the weapon, you can deflect a single ranged attack so that you take no damage or effects from it.
Oh, nice.
And it does. And keep in mind that's ranged attack, not just ranged weapons. So it'll deflect massive range. It doesn't deflect massive ranged weapons like a ballista or something like that, but arrows, crossbow bolts, magic missile, you know, Agonizar Scorcher, stuff like that.
Right.
Any targeted ranged attacks. And it is the Scimitar of Air. I am having all sorts of computer issues right now. I don't know why. Of course I am, because why wouldn't I?
You're the okayest DM.
Right? Alright, so he explains to you, he says, I'm afraid that as I've said, that my father will be harmed just by being on the elemental plane of air for a prolonged period of time. He says,
We're ready to go right now.
he says, please follow me this way, and he takes you through the maze of doors that is the World Serpent Inn, and leads you to a door, and has you walk into the door. He says, as I said, the abduction only occurred 5 hours ago, so I believe you have probably around 40 hours before he will be harmed in any significant sort of way.
Hmm.
All right. We are ready to depart.
Okay, you guys gonna
Oh,
walk
we're
through the door?
Yep. We'll go through the door.
Alright, you guys walk through the door and find yourselves transported to an azure sky. A palace of white domes hangs suspended 2,000 feet ahead. Oh, hang on. There we go. Maybe.
Oh wow.
Beautiful.
Looks like something.
Hang on, I think we got the I got the size wrong on here, but
Now that map looks awesome.
that's kind of about the right size. Anyways, it's going to be different because it's going to be different as you go further in toward the palace.
Right.
But either way, the the grid doesn't matter so much at this point. 2,000 feet ahead of you see a white palace of white domes and spires gleaming in all directions. It is the landhold of a genie sheik whose name is Nabi. One of the guardsmen, the palace guards that are with you, they basically tell you about this.
Nabi.
Nabby.
The palace of guards kind of instruct you that you guys should go to this stronghold, this genie landhold, and kind of await your instructions, like, or await your move, kind of thing. They kind of like wait for you to move on ahead, kind of thing.
Are we in the middle of the air?
Yep. And they seem to be just kind of flying.
Right. Did we walk out with the carpet and on the broom, or did we fall a little bit?
You walked out. You walked out without the carpet, and you feel yourself kind of. You realize as you're standing there, you guys realize that now you are like the thing seems to be getting higher in the air, but the whole area seems windy and such. So you realize that you are indeed falling. But you look down and all you see is air, and you look forward and up and all you see is air and clouds. You know, like you're not sure how far you could possibly fall and still not get hurt.
I'm doing one of those numbers.
So
Hold
you
on
guys,
to the carpet, everybody. Anybody know how to
Yeah.
work this thing?
yeah, and then you realize
Why?
that perhaps the two palace guards that are with you, telling you this, yelling over to you, you know, like this is the palace of the genie Nabi. You know, like you realize that
How
that
do you
when
work this thing?
you realize that they weren't really actually flying. It just kind of looked like they were because they're used to it, and they were just falling with you guys because they decided that you guys falling was the normal thing to do. He's like, just unroll the carpet and sit on it. It'll be fine.
Okay. So,
Sit on it.
Okay.
okay, we'll do that. Hey, Luther, get on the broom.
That's just not.
Perception check.
Just yell scream the whole time.
Okay, we're sitting on it. Now what do we do?
As soon as you sit on it, everything slows down and you slow down the falling, and you can see it like you can still see the thing up ahead, like 2,000 feet in the distance, but it is just massive, and it seems like even though you seem to have fallen for a minute or two, it seems to like you haven't fallen that far past it or anything, you know.
All right. Luther, did you get on the broom, Luther?
Zach,
Luther.
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 he's trying to respond.
That I would hope so.
Okay, so Luther gets on the broom and you guys are all kind of flying. At which point the palace guards fly, and you notice they're flying toward the palace, but they're flying slowly to make sure you guys are kind of staying caught up or staying with them because they know that you guys are ultimately the emissaries.
I had this covered, guys. I had Featherfall ready to go in case we couldn't figure this out.
I'm glad you had it. I could flat. China would float. It's fine.
Okay,
But maybe not so much.
are you guys going to go ahead and approach the palace?
Yeah.
Okay, this thing is absolutely massive, and as you approach, you notice a young boy, flying out towards you, and you notice he is wearing a red silk vest, and
I'm gonna change into my fine clothes as we're heading towards it.
okay, and he is. Are you like you doing this magically somehow? Or are you like all Superman in a phone booth on the carpet kind of thing? Oh,
On the carpet.
you know, like
Yep. Just
you're about
on
to
the
fall
carpet.
off the carpet, trying to change your clothes. Okay.
I could change my shirt while I'm sitting down and then just, I've changed driving a car before.
Yeah, but your character hasn't.
No,
I hope your character hasn't driven a car before, actually. But
if I can change driving a car, my character can change flying a carpet. He's
Doesn't
more
take the
dexterous than
license.
I am.
It doesn't take a license either.
I like the whole entire.
okay. Anyway, the young boy approaches you. You notice as he approaches and gets closer, you notice that he doesn't seem to have any legs, and it's just like a swirl of air where his legs would have been.
Oh, it's that Marvel character that could get big that used to fight Gigantica.
That was DC, but yes,
Oh yeah, the DC character.
and that wasn't the big guy. That was a different one.
Oh.
That was you're thinking about the Native American guy that went electric and got bigger. The tornado dude was Super Samurai or something like that.
Yeah, he wasn't the one that got big.
No,
Oh,
no,
I can never remember the guy that got big and fought Gigantica.
it was the Native American
Oh, okay.
guy.
I always
Apache
loved him,
Chief
but
is
never-
what his name was.
Oh,
Apache
okay.
Chief. Anyways,
Sorry.
regardless. Anyways, so this guy, this young boy says, he says, "Greeting, I am Umas." He says, "My sheik invites you to dinner, and to join him at a feast at his table."
Thank you, Humas. Greetings as well.
You also all realize you are super hungry all of a sudden. He says, go ahead.
Where's the food?
Okay, he says at the sheik's table in the palace, and he kind of like motions toward the palace, and he says, "Come with me," and he kind of like starts flying off toward the palace.
Faster, faster, faster. Hurry up, carpet.
Mm. Okay.
I can't drive 85.
Okay. As you arrive at the palace, Mama says, "Ah, you are here for wonderful rewards."
Oh, well, yes. That would be great, but we are here to find whatever the missing guy's name is.
You're gonna say the missing guy's name?
Yep.
And he says, "Ah, then please come with me," and
We will follow him.
he leads you to the place, and he leads you to the place where the feast hall is.
Yep.
And as you enter there, you see a rather large Jean at the head of the table, and he says, "Nabi, these people are after Ben Abbas." And he says, "Ah, really?" He says, "Perhaps then you have come to the right place." Yeah, 1 second here. One second. he says, you have met Mumas. He says, I am Khalid. He says, I am in charge of the Caliph's everyday like day-to-day goings on type stuff. Like he's basically like a chamberlain.
Daily planner.
Yeah, he's basically like a chamberlain. Yeah. So you notice he's carrying a large scimitar on his side. He's about 13 feet tall. When you guys get in the palace, also the boy, the air turns into legs, and he's walking around on legs now. He says, I think you have perhaps come to the right place at the right time. He says, you see, the person you are seeking is in violation of certain things.
What has he violated?
He says, he has imprisoned Abu. He is complicit. He is complicit with the Caliph, and the Caliph has imprisoned Abu wrongly.
Why has he imprisoned Abu?
He says, we know not why he's imprisoned him, but we can pay you handsomely to go and retrieve Abu.
Should we retrieve Abu or should we not?
So, we need to retrieve Abu to get the... And say whatever the guy's name is. Is that what I am?
The Ben Abbas?
Yeah.
He says, forget about Ben Abbas. He says, we will pay you handsomely to go and retrieve Abu.
But we are already being paid to find Ben Abbas.
You see him. You see him. He looks kind of angry. He says, I will test your own judgment. There were once two pickpockets, and both of them jostled their victims and were caught. The first went brazenly to the constable and complained that his victim had robbed him. The second was humiliated and stabbed his victim quickly so that nobody would know of his crime. Which of these thieves was the least evil?
Oh boy.
The constable who heard the crime.
What'd you say?
I was joking. I said the constable who was listening to the crime.
Yeah.
Why should we believe you over the prince?
Believe me about what?
That Abu is the one who deserves to be saved.
The second was least evil.
He
We gotta
says,
save one of the two evils.
thou art right, for he knew shame and might yet change. Emulate that thief.
But if we're right and we find them both, it's a double win.
That's nearby here.
He says, listen, you will forget about Ben Abbas until Abu is safe.
When do we take orders from you?
Where is Abu?
Where's a boo boo?
I didn't catch what you said, Shay. John.
Since when do we take orders from you? We make our judgments ourselves.
He says, is that so? you all feel very strong arms grabbing the backs of your arms.
Really?
And you notice that with barely a sound, there are several guards holding you from behind, kind of like grabbing onto your arms. And he says, "Then I fear we are at an impasse, and you will rot in my dungeon."
If I have something to say about it.
No, this is my opinion, guys. We should look for them. Stop mouthing off to guests, to someone else's home, because how would you like if I come into your home and insulted you? That's not nice. That's not proper. So I'm thinking we should listen and help.
Where do we find Abu?
He says he is held captive in the Caliph's palace.
Okay, where's that at?
He says, "You are in the elemental plane of air now. Just go forth and think of the palace, and you will get there."
How do we recognize Abu?
He says, "Abu looks like us," and you realize he's saying that he's a genie.
Send someone with us so we know which one Abu is.
He says, "Very well. I will." He says, "I will let you select one at random, and go ahead
How
and
many?
roll a d6."
Okay.
They all also lighten their grip on you. They also like let you go, kind of like realizing that you seem to be cooperative at this point. A 2.
Can I please just zap one?
No.
He
No
says,
need to do it.
you point randomly at one of the genie bodyguards, and he says, "Ah, you have chosen Assad. You have chosen wisely." So Assad is the name of the genie bodyguard that's going to be going with you.
Oh boy.
Why is this? Okay. I see what's going on there. There we go. Much better. Much better. And then this side too, maybe? Nope, doesn't fix anything. Okay, good to know. Alright, so, when you choose Assad, as if from thin air, a large chest appears in his hands, and he sets it on the ground in front of you.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Is this payment for us?
He says, "Yes, this is tribute from Assad. He is one of the viziers.
Okay.
He is also your bodyguard, and he will." And he says, "There is 500 gold pieces worth of perfume in there, as well as tribute of 100 gold pieces each."
Okay.
He says, "You can get any of the viziers to also approve most reasonable requests by offering tribute to them worth at least 100 gold pieces. So this would be also six points of tribute that you could offer to a vizier to help perhaps influence them into helping you get what you need.
Understood.
Okay, so um are you guys going to um are you guys going to have a meal with the with Nabi?
Yes.
Okay.
It'd be rude not to accept the offer.
Okay, you guys,
What was rude was the way he tried to force us to accept it.
that's true. Was rude.
That is.
He was
But I
he was
also
very
think-
kind of rude, but he's also in fairness, he is also used to getting his own way in his own palace. So, you know.
Well, and it is his home, and we gotta be respectful.
But he-
I'm just
But
applying
it was
more of a
kind of
logic
rude.
line.
It was kind of rude, and you do know that the person he's talking about is the person the Abu was the person that the prince warned you about. So essentially, this guy's with the enemy team in a way, in some way, shape, or form. But you guys are going to have dinner with him, right?
Yeah.
As you guys are having dinner
Right.
and talking small talk and asking about the elemental plane of air and stuff like that, you guys can all make persuasion or deception checks if you would like, whichever works best for you. In order to glean pieces of information about the elemental plane of air, if you would like, or other things. Even perception checks I would allow too, possibly.
My perception was lower than my persuasion.
Well, you don't get both. You only get one.
Okay.
Well, either way,
persuasion.
and I fixed up my perception thingy. Finally,
That's good.
Oh, good job.
All
it
right.
took a while.
It's okay. It'll be messed up next time we play.
Ranking.
What was that?
Hopefully not.
What did Luther say?
Luther wants to challenge a low-ranking guard to arm wrestling.
Oh, jeez.
That's Luther for you.
All right. Let me
May
see if I
I
can.
put lightning up Luther's butt?
All right. Let's see here.
Go, Luther!
I think I know why I'm rolling so bad.
Why?
I'm a dwarf. I'm not used
Whoops.
to having my feet off the ground.
I'm a what?
You're a what? A what?
Luther wants to make to throw him out the window.
No,
I'm
it,
sure.
it just kind of dawned on me because I was rolling pretty crappy on everything. Then I realized, wait a second, he's used to being on the ground or in underground. He's in the air, so maybe he didn't think this through.
Everybody.
All right, Luther.
A cat.
One of the guards. Roll 1d6 if you want to choose one randomly, like one randomly, or do you want to choose Assad, the one that's supposed to help you guys out?
He's just trying to find like the lowest ranking guy. You know, just trying to half put on a show, half mess around. So he's not really trying to anger potential allies.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and make a strength acrobatics or not acrobatics, strength athletics check. Okay, you were able to beat him at arm wrestling. It's, he applauds you at your great strength.
Yeah. This is just Luther trying to be buddies, honestly.
And all right, so who I see Shay rolled a high roll, so you got a 22. James, you got a 25. Oh no, you're not at advantage, so 9.
No, I crapped all my rolls. I was horrible.
And then
And the reason why I'm horrible is because I'm in the air.
Ashley got 21. So it looks like only Shay. Shay, you notice that during the dinner / conversation, you notice that the boy that came out to meet you will say some stuff every once in a while, and the guy who appears to be the genie who owns the land, you know, the landhold, the guy whose palace it is, kind of listens to the boy intently, and Shay, you know, Kea realizes that this genie that looks like he's in charge is not in charge at all. It is that boy.
Okay.
Are you
Let me
going?
think for a minute.
Are you going to share any of that with your friends quietly?
Yes.
Okay. So then you all know that. You all know what Kea knows. And
I'm thinking, he's thinking in his, Gavor's thinking in his head, are you sure it's not the genie? I don't think the kid should be the one in charge. I think that genie's in charge.
Yeah.
Because of my bad rolls?
yeah, well, you wouldn't have. I was gonna say in your head you might think that, but nobody. You don't have telepathy. I don't think going on. So
No. It's just a little bit.
so
of
nobody
food for
else
thought.
nobody else would be privy to that thought, really.
That's true.
All right, so you have several dinner takes it's several courses and it takes a few hours and such. You have time to think about stuff over that dinner. You realize that part of the reason from I will also say that did anybody else roll any kind of high? Actually, you got a 12. Garnet,
yeah, I got a 12 on the
Garnet,
13.
you got a 12. Well, you got a 13 actually. So
Yeah.
you guys both realize that time goes faster here on the elemental plane of air, which is kind of similar how it went on the ethereal. Like it was faster going on the ethereal plane than it was on the normal plane. But it's not quite as fast, but as it was on the ethereal plane, But it's probably like for every hour, probably double that time goes by.
Right.
So like here for like every hour that goes by, about 2 hours goes by on the regular plane. And then you realize, like, after knowing that, that's probably the reason you guys were so hungry so fast, is because you guys had just sat down to eat and then took a little trip, and then suddenly it was like hours had passed. So, anybody going to act on that information?
Of what she told us?
What's that?
Does anyone have high investigation?
Let's see. I'm gonna check mine. I'm setting this. I have 0 for investigation, but I'll try. 10.
I rolled my investigation as a joke.
Even though I did worse.
I will say we should probably either head to our next destination or get some sleep soon, because it seems like time is doubled here. So we will need to keep an eye on our sleep schedule before we get exhausted.
Slipping into the future.
We don't want to overrun our systems.
I also don't want to leave myself vulnerable without knowing what's going on.
Don't
Yes.
worry, Kaya, you have me. Well, we shall take turns of staying awake and sleeping.
Okay.
I think Luther's trying to say something.
Was that a
I
no?
was looking at something. I wasn't trying to say anything. I was just looking at something.
Oh, what are you looking at?
Audacity.
The audacity.
I'm really admiring the background. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You like the floaty genie city?
Dude, I want to make it a play map for Magic.
The
That'd
floaty
be
genie
perfect.
city.
D&D.
All right. So
It's the Silver City from Never.
from what?
Silver City. Another?
You're breaking up now, Luther, because I don't know why. Because we only get to hear you for 2 seconds out of any cast. That's how that works. If it's not you, it's James. If it's not James, it's someone else.
Very true. Very true.
Maybe.
All right. So you guys set a watch. Everything goes by pretty uneventful. They're looking around the area. You're essentially looks like you're at the head of a thundercloud, and you guys see great tents outside in the courtyard, and the great tents are forced into rigid shapes by gusts of elemental air. There are genies. There are jinn everywhere. And although you guys know you guys are pretty capable, if you guys were fighting an army of jinn or even a small army of jinn like this, you guys would probably lose really fast.
Yeah, that's why I try not to piss them off.
So yeah.
All right, so we'll take off first thing in the next, first thing after our long rest, I guess,
Okay.
to the palace to go free Abu. Now, what is it that the viziers? with the tokens or whatever with the
Yeah,
viziers?
it's chest.
The viziers can be basically you can offer requests from the viziers. Like you can not offer you can request things of them. Is what I'm saying. And they'll basically try to fulfill any reasonable request. And they will basically try to fulfill any reasonable request by a sort of bribe of about 100 gold pieces, if that makes sense.
Okay. Makes it a lot easier.
And you're told that the viziers will be one at the at the caliph's palace, and so you can take the chest of 600 gold pieces worth of whatever and bribe a vizier to fulfill a reasonable request.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, release this prisoner might be a reasonable request. But it might also not because, whatever it is. But whatever you can't get with 100 gold, you might be able to bribe with 2 or 3 or the 5 or the 6. You know what I'm saying? Like,
For 1,000.
it works how bribes work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Still question whether freeing Abu is the right thing to do with people like this asking.
We're doing.
Okay. At any rate, so you guys leave there.
Yep.
Okay, you guys leave there, and you guys head out. And you guys head toward the Caliph's capital.
Yep.
And as you approach the Caliph's capital, you see a similar sight, but rosy mists drift from the Caliph's palace like a sunrise which never ends. A curtain of elemental fire surrounds this pocket of earth. As you approach, you notice an exotic mix of aerial creatures dwelling around the city. You see strange-looking horses dancing about on the clouds, and airy dragons flying around the city. As you enter, you see bazaars and like marketing areas, like market areas, and where you can see merchants selling perfumes, incense, and things of the like. As you land, Assad says, I think that our best bet would be go to see the vizier of my namesake, Assad. And he says, but you can pick any of the viziers, and we can try to go that route. He says, but no vizier recognizes the pronouncements of another. He says, or we can try to evade them altogether. Okay, you guys like kind of land in the market area, you know?
Right.
And he says we can try to invade them altogether. He says the Caliph restricts guides to keep potential invaders from scouting the area and all his sheikdoms, but his laws do not prevent air elementals from being guides.
Uh-huh.
He says, however, you can be punished for hiring one. He says, I do not know my way around the city. He says, I am from Nabi's landhold, so...
So, what do you? So, what do you think, Mr. Luther Garnet? Alia?
I think we should see if there's any way to trap a djinn. See if there's anybody selling anything to trap one.
You see that the djinn that's with you when you say this is kind of a little angered. What are you trying to see? Like, how are you going to see about like if there's a way to do it?
Like shackles or something.
Put it in a bottle.
I want to go to a shady, almost black market type area of the market.
Okay, you make a I guess make an investigation check or a perception check. Okay, you find somebody over off in a like kind of a darker alley-ish area, and you notice that they seem to be kind of like eyes darting back and forth a bit, and you notice that they are surrounded by like 4 air elementals.
All right, I'll approach him.
Okay. He says,
I'll be like, okay, go ahead.
he says, "Good evening, my friends. I am Faruz. Well, how can I help you today?
I'll be like,
What
I need to
services
make a-
might I offer?"
I need to make a prisoner exchange.
He says, but I am sorry, I have no prisoners.
No, I need to.
These
I
air
need to-
elementals work for me freely.
Yes, I need to capture a djinn and exchange him for another. But I need to be able to make sure that I can hold the djinn once I capture him. Until I need to free him. Do you have anything that I can hold a djinn with?
He says, shh, keep your voice down. To even speak of such things is treason. He says, you do not do well on the elemental plane of air, especially in the Caliph city. And talk about imprisoning jinn. And he like looks around, and you look around and you see there's several jinn in the marketplace, including the one that you're traveling with. And every time you say anything about imprisoning a jinn, you can almost hear his butt clench.
Butt clench.
You can see his teeth grit, and he's kind of like angered at the thought that you would even mention such a thing. But he's there on the orders of Nabi, and he's going to do what he's told. So
What about some sort of shackles that they can wear,
he says, my
like
friend,
handcuffs?
he says, my friends, I've warned you to keep your voice down. He says,
I was trying to keep quiet.
I cannot do business with this. I don't think I can
Okay.
do business with you.
Do you know of someone that can?
He says, further down this alley, you will meet my friend Farid, and he will help you out.
Thank you. And I'll throw him a gold.
He says, but also keep your voices down. And when you get down you guys go down the alleyway.
Yep.
The genie that's with you says, I don't like this area. He says it makes me nervous. And and as you're going down the alley, you see a young, what appears to be a young man, like a real young man. And upon closer inspection, you notice it's actually possibly a lady. And but all covered and just wearing just like you can see, just like the face mostly open, and
Okay.
kind of just like motions for you, like to follow her into yet another alley off this one.
Okay. I will. I'll tell the gin or whatever. I'll tell him if you are feeling uncomfortable, you can stay outside, and we'll meet you when we come back.
He says, it is my job to watch over you. Assad will do his duty.
Oh.
And he kind of, speaks himself in third person there, but he follows you. When you guys get into the alley, the young man / possibly woman pulls you aside and has a really soft voice and says, I am Farid. Farouz told me that you needed my help.
Yes.
You notice her eyes are like a wispy blue, and you can almost feel like air flowing off of her. And she smiles at you and she says, cousin, and she hugs you.
Ah, cousin.
She says, almost anything can be a shackle to a genie. And she looks up at the one you're traveling with and says, genies fear imprisonment. She says, I don't know that I feel comfortable with this one here telling you about this stuff.
He is bound as my bodyguard right now.
She says, very well. She says, jinn are very duty bound. That is part of what makes them so tractable. And she says, here, this. And she says, this will work. And she hands you a small ring.
Ah. Exactly what I'm looking for.
She says, if you get the genie in question to hold it and say their name, then perhaps you can trap him to the ring. Or her.
Good. And then when it is time to free the genie,
She says the wielder of the ring must free the genie if that's is what is wished.
okay. I need to free somebody, and in order to free them, I have to free somebody else.
She says it's just like Aladdin, where you rub the lamp. Oh no.
I kind of figured,
But anyway, so no. But yeah, so basically it's like a ring of genie summoning.
Yep.
But there's no genie trapped in it.
all
And
right.
if you get the genie to put it on and say his name, or if you were able to get it on him and have him say his name, then perhaps it would work. So you're planning on trapping a genie, do you?
Yeah, need to. How much for the ring?
She says, I can do no less than 2,000 gold. She says, even just having this conversation, I could be imprisoned for, well, forever, or beheaded, or worse. She says, have you ever seen someone impaled by a spike of air and ripped apart from the inside out?
No, and I do not want to.
She says, "Nor do I. Nor do I wish to be that person."
And Sergeant, you know better than anyone else here besides me. I don't like imprisonment.
Okay.
Hence why I
Neither do I.
left the trade.
Neither do I.
Do we want to buy this ring, people?
Yes, you can buy the ring. Just keep it away from me and Gavor.
Are you genies?
Nope.
No, they just don't like
I'm a,
imprisonment.
nope.
It just remembers
I've done
everybody.
worse than that.
Gavor's,
how much
Gavor's probably done a stint in imprisoned by Drow. So,
Right.
Well,
I
and
figured.
plus he was an ex-slaver too. Remember?
oh, you were a slaver. That's right. Yeah. So you weren't he wasn't imprisoned by Drow. He was just heavily coerced by Drow, trading slaves
All
with Drow.
Yeah.
I am a slave of
Yeah.
trades.
Sergeant's the one that I freed.
Right. So how much is in the chest?
It was 500.
It's 500 gold pieces worth of perfume and 100 gold pieces loose.
All right. So that's 6.
Now you keep in mind if you spend the gold, then you only have whatever gold you have to bribe viziers with or whatever. But
Yep. Okay.
you
Or
may
we
have a
can all
different
fit-
plan by imprisoning the vizier. But that's neither here nor there. So
All right. Either that, or we could all pitch in 500 of our own.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be 2,500. Yeah.
Or less than that, because she only needs 2,000.
We can do that.
All right. So it's 5 divided by 2,000.
2,000 divided by 5.
Yeah.
It's 400.
Yep, 400
Okay,
each.
so everybody pitches in 400.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
Rumble, frumble, frumple. Why are you grumbling?
Grumble, 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 grumble.
The DM, Brian, the DM knows why. If he looks at my alignment and my history, that's why I'm so grumbly about it.
Ah. Dude, I can just look at it.
Now I'll say, thank you, cousin.
I will say, Kea, you remember you kind of are thinking back to the whole interaction with the at dinner, and you think that the boy was actually Nabi, and that the genie that was supposed to be Nabi was just like one of his underlings.
But since no one rolled a high enough investigation, we weren't able to find anything more. We still don't know why.
No, you don't know why he was masquerading as a underling or a cupbearer. He was acting as the genie's cupbearer, but you're not sure why. Yes.
Strategically out of character, I would know why, but but that's different. It's like
Wait.
a body double,
I would say your character knows too, kind of a way, but yeah.
but he's not really happy or thrilled out of this whole thing.
Neither am I.
I'm not happy in being strong-armed in this at all, but here we are.
But see, the thing is, we could have done it without doing the forced imprisonment and everything. Could have just talked and just walked and everything.
Okay. Okay, so you guys got the ring. You guys are looking around and at the marketplace, and Assad says, I believe we should probably go and see the Caliph about releasing Abu, don't you?
I think we should.
And he says, come this way. As you guys go out of the marketplace, you notice that a great palace of gold-painted stone rises from the city, sheltering both the offices of state and the dungeons where Abu is likely held. When you reach the door, you see there are two Jinn guardsmen. And they say they're wearing like sky blue outfits and armor, and they say, what do you need, citizen? And then they look at you and they say, you are a long way from home, Earth One.
Yes, I need to speak to the Caliph about a kidnapping.
The other one says,
And then I'll mention the name of the person that got kidnapped.
which is what name?
I can't remember.
Make a guess.
I have no idea.
The one that's not Abu,
Yeah.
or the one that is Abu?
No, he's the one that's in the prison.
So Ben Abbas.
Yeah.
He says, ah, the Caliph has been expecting you. And he opens the door, and you guys head on in. You head into like a major court area, like a throne room kind of. In the throne room, you see 6 viziers. And they are all wearing like turbans that are like a sky blue color. And they all look at you. They kind of are wondering what is going on. And they ask you, they say, how can we help you?
And I'll tell them that Ben Abbas' son has hired us to find him and free him. He was kidnapped. But the first place that we went to, and when he was kidnapped, he received word that he needed to free Abu.
He says, yes, this is true. He says, you must speak with the Caliph.
Yes, and the Caliph told us, forget about Ben Abbas and free Abu. Because Ben Abbas imprisoned him.
He says, the Caliph told you this?
Was it the Caliph that told us that?
No.
Oh, no. Who was it that told us that?
It was a genie. It was like a genie, like a essentially like a duke. Guy had his own landhold, like a genie baron.
Oh no, we just
and
spoke
the
to
guy
somebody.
who told you that, he said his name was Nabi.
Nabi told us that we needed to forget about Ben Aben and free Abu. So he just sent us here to free Abu.
He says, well, there will be no freeing of Abu. The Caliph has imprisoned him. He says, and I'm sure he has his reasons.
Yes, I am sure he has his reasons too. And I'm sure Ben Abbas was not wrongfully to imprison Abu. I'm pretty sure this Nabi is in the wrong. But
He
may we
says-
speak to the Caliph, please?
He says, they all kind of look at each other and kind of like nod momentarily, like take a minute, and they start nodding and like, yeah, yes, we think you should. We think you should. He says, but there is a more dangerous prospect at hand, and you will understand that the Caliph will not be happy about what news you bring him. Correct?
Yes.
He says, one of them gets up from their thrones and walks over to a large central throne in the middle of the room. You can see, and over behind it, a door opens up. Like he taps a staff on the ground, and a door opens up behind the throne, kind of. And he says, "This way to the Caliph's offices." And he says, "You wait out here." And he takes the djinn that's with you, the bodyguard,
Yep.
and he kind of like just puts his hand at to like have him stay out there. And he kind of like looks a little nervous. Are you guys gonna let him stay out there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So in the central office, you see the Caliph wearing a turban of pure white, sitting on a essentially like a slouch that makes his shoulder blades stick up. He looks at you and says, "You have already passed the test, my friends." He says, "I have seen upon you goodness in your hearts." He says, "How can I help you achieve that which you need to achieve without releasing Abu?" Anybody? Bueller?
Bueller.
Think I may have a way,
He says,
but you might not like it.
I am listening. Abu is imprisoned here along with a group of 5 vortices who once served the Gru, but were captured by Vizier Assad's policemen.
What if we imprison him in an object?
He looks around. He sees that you're all like, none of you are jinn. And he says, "I realize you are not familiar with the customs of the elemental plane of air, and much even less so with the jinn. Otherwise you would know to speak of such things in my palace is high treason, and would result in your immediate death."
I said it was an idea you would not like. But yes, I did not know it was high treason to speak of such a thing.
He says, "We jinn fight hard against entrapment." He says, "Although, for some reason, our airy nature makes us susceptible to it." He says, he says, he says, "We have a problem outside our city." He says, "I suppose I could let you trap Abu." He says, "But I'm not sure how that helps you achieve your goal. Please enlighten me." He says, "I will not give over the life of another genie to be entrapped. I would rather leave him imprisoned here in my palace for 1,000 eons."
Okay, I'm just wondering what was the I hate to interrupt, but what's the problem that you have outside the palace?
He says, well,
Maybe we could take care of that problem in exchange for our boo.
he says, a prisoner transfer then. He says, perhaps. He says, that is something worth thinking about. Um, he says, well, there are nearby thunderclouds, and in the nearby thunderclouds is a settlement of Ildris Gru.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with the Gru?
Mm-mm.
He says, well, the Ildris, also known as Wind Terrors, are mostly invisible, but they have been planning a revolution of sorts. I fear that they are going to attack the palace.
Um, now that seems like something I could. Guys, hello, y'all gotta speak up. Y'all,
You're talking. Keep talking.
okay? Because of how I was raised and learned everything, I'm thinking this is the best bet to help defend and offset this rebellion in exchange for our boo, so we can get the other guy and all this other stuff, and hopefully without really screwing up some more stuff. Because I really don't want to look into the orb of what not to do.
Gru are basically like essentially like evil elementals. There are Ildris are the air Gru, but there's fire, earth, and water Gru also.
I suppose we could go try to take out your Gru issue.
I have
says-
to agree with James.
He says, if you can alleviate this problem and they do not attack the palace and eat the clouds around us, and these magical clouds and this the curtain of fire are the only thing that help keep our city afloat in the way that it is. If they are destroyed, then the city will soon fall and follow.
Makes a very logical problem, yeah.
He says, if you can take care of these Gru, he says, I will release the prisoner Abu to you.
Yeah, well, we can all agree on. I suppose we'll do that.
That is a good agreement. That's the best.
Yeah, less bloodshed, sometimes it's the best.
Mm-hmm. Even though I do still want to put something on fire or lightning bullet.
You just be patient, there'll be a time for that, and right now is not the time.
He says, I am going to have Assad escort you to the dungeon. And he waves his hand, and all of a sudden Assad, that the guy that's been your bodyguard, comes in, and he is now wearing a sky blue turban. And he is no longer dressed like a bodyguard, he is dressed like one of the viziers.
Before I go, may I give you a gift?
the Caliph, he says, perhaps I do love gifts.
Keep thinking. What's the worst? Um. I actually give him the book to read and hide. I know I could go invisible now, but I also feel like it's polite to give a host a gift when you come to visit.
Okay. He
So
says,
you read this and you'll be able to be invisible while
He
you
says-
read it.
he says, I am very happy of this gift. He says, I can already become invisible. He says, but I am a fan of prime material literature. He says, this gift from your Toril, says it is a great thing. He says, I have collected a vast amount of books from many realms. He says, this will be a great addition to my collection. And he says, if anyone ever needs help among you, tell them Caliph Aaron wishes you well. And that is something that you guys should probably write in your notes as allies or something.
Yep.
And it's Caliph Aaron Nadal. It's in the chat there. You can add that to your allies and organizations if you want. He says, Assad will take you now to see the prisoner Abu. Perhaps you can work something out with him ahead of time. He says, thus far my inquisitors have not been able to glean any information from him about the whereabouts of Ben Abbas. Okay. So, anyways, Assad takes you down to the dungeon level. He doesn't go in, but he lets you go in, and he locks the door behind you. He says, just tell me when you want out, and I will let you out, my friends. So you realize that Assad is actually a vizier, and he was posing as one of Nabi's bodyguards. As Nabi was posing as a boy.
And that's a very good tactic against assassination, especially in political landscape. That's a very smart choice.
So he was so you guys realize the Caliph knew about your coming before you, like long before you ever talked to the boy and the fake Nabi.
Oh yeah. Air does travel faster than us.
He heard it on the wind, so to speak.
But
So
yeah.
you guys go down through the dungeon a little ways. You see all sorts of strange things. You see like what looks like little vortexes of air swirling in a force field, like behind a force field. And behind these other what appear to be bars, but they're kind of made of force, you see what looks like a fat, like really heavy set genie. He says, when he sees you, he says, you have come to mock Abu again. Abu does not care any longer. Begone.
Oh, so you don't want to get out?
That seems to catch his attention. He says, excuse me?
Explain, please. I'm gesturing for Garnet, Luther. Y'all, please explain.
We are going to go take care of a problem for the Caliph.
He says, then you are no friends of mine.
In exchange, he is going to release you.
He says, the Caliph will never release me.
And then we are going to exchange you for the release of Ben Aden.
Benabis.
Benavish.
He says, if you help me escape, I can guide you.
Hold on, I gotta do something real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a BRB.
Yep. I was gonna say, I
Yay.
could use a quick break too.
And plus, as a dwarf,
all two eyes.
All right.
But also,
Welcome back.
Hello.
Weird dreams
well,
on your
of course.
old ticket out. Okay, so what are you guys going to tell the Abu there? He's listening intently, and he's ready to get out of there and ready to help you guys. How are you gonna spring him? Or how you gonna trade for him, or whatever? Like how
Tell him what's up. Tell him we have to go fight these critters that are getting ready to head over and eat the clouds, and then when we spring him, we have to trade him for. He's gonna have to lead us to where they got what's his name stashed, and then we'll let him free.
He says, "You are going to fight the terrible winds?"
Yeah.
the Grooves.
He
We're
says,
going to try and get the Grooves to stop trying to eat the floating stuff here and go somewhere else to eat.
He says, so I am as good as dead here because I will be stuck here while you go and fight the wind terrors. And he says, and you will most likely die.
What can you tell us about the wind terrors?
He says they eat clouds, air breezes, birds, other small elementals. He says, what do you want to know about them?
What are their weaknesses?
Weaknesses. He says mostly they're invisible. He says they are likely to get the jump on you because they are made literally of air. He says
Also,
there is nothing quieter or louder than air. He says most of the time they're immune to most magic too.
So they're immune to magic.
The most magic.
He says,
Most
well, they
magic.
can be harmed by magical weapons. He says, but lightning is of course useless against them. They're usually completely invisible. He says, but sometimes they resemble the clouds themselves.
What to do?
He says, if you are going to face them in the clouds, you are as good as dead. See you in the next lifetime, my friends.
Are they weak to?
you'll be seeing us in our lifetime, in your lifetime and our lifetime. We'll be coming back.
Yeah, sure.
He says, I cannot tell you where Ben Abbas is because I will not risk not being freed to give up the whereabouts of this person.
How about we free you right now?
He says, if you free me right now, I will direct you right to where Ben Abbas is.
What do you think, James? I mean, not James, Gabor?
I think we should go take care of the problem of those air thingies because we have made our agreement. We take care of those things in order to get him free. It is a very logical choice, and there may be a way to dissuade them to go away somewhere else.
He says, the way I see it, you have about 32 hours left to make this decision. Then your friend Ben Abbas will start to erode, so to speak, waste away.
So that's why we gotta hurry up and chop. Yes,
cannot-
it's a little
we can-
extra running, but sometimes it's worth it in the end.
Well, we cannot free Abu until we get rid of the things.
Yeah, and that's
Abu said, Abu's already told us he doesn't feel like he'd be much help against them.
That's true.
well, we're just giving him an update, and then we should go take care of him.
Agree. Just gotta note that they're At least.
He says,
again.
Abu, Abu, we cannot free you
he
until
says,
we take care of the things, unless I do something that is forbidden and worth high treason, and you will not like it.
he says, well, then I guess we are at a loss. He says, because you will surely die against these Ildris.
Do you want to know what is something you do not like and is high treason?
He says, I do not mind the high treason. Well, why do you think I am here?
Ooh.
I will show him. I will show him the ring.
Right after
I
that.
have this.
He says, no, I will not do it.
Okay.
He says, I will not trade one prison for another.
Then
that
we
is-
will be back
that
after
is
we
a-
kill the others.
He says, that is a fool's bargain. He says, I tell you what though, if you help me, I will help you to help me.
No matter what we do, it's not gonna matter.
How
if
do
those
we help
things
you?
Destroy the city anyway.
He says, if they destroy the city and I die along with it, I have no qualms about that. I have at least held my position, and I have at least stayed in my place. He says, but perhaps there is a way you can help me, and I can help you to help me. You must go and seek the sheepdom of Mahomas. He says, Mahomas is a friend of mine, and he will know a way to defeat the Ildris.
Would he capture those storm thingies?
No, they are not seen.
He says he may have a way to capture those storm thingies, or he may have a way to defeat the Ildris. He is very clever.
And how do we get to him?
He says, perhaps go to his landhold. He says, but the way things are, I have this feeling that Mahomes will want something of you as well. And believe me, your time is growing short.
Yes, I realize this. We are on wild goose chases.
He says,
But once we get one thing done, it'll all fall into place.
Thus is the nature of us, Jinn. We are airy and chaotic. I cannot help you other than that.
Okay, it is off to. Do you have a guide for us to get there?
He says, someone will know the way. He says, I cannot point the way from this dungeon. He says,
Okay.
that way perhaps? And he kind of points over his shoulder.
Oh.
He says, who is to say?
Okay, Mahomes. Got it.
Okay, so when you leave the dungeon, you guys go to the door and, you see Assad waiting outside for you, outside the bars. And he says, I assume you are ready to leave now.
We need to go to Mahomes. His landhold.
Okay, he says, Mahomes? Oh, that could be a problem. He is in mourning now because his son has been killed.
We do not have time to wait.
He says, well, perhaps we shall go then. And then you guys start going and you guys leave the settlement, right? Like you leave the city?
Yep.
Okay, so you guys leave and you guys start heading for another landhold. As you get closer, it's similar to the city landhold that the Caliph was at, only there's no big huge palace or anything like that. There's like domes and tents. And you see what looks like a bunch of carpets in midair, and they're just kind of floating around the landhold. You think that probably there are a bunch of carpets are flying at first, but as you get closer, you realize they're huge carpets. And on them there's little altars and dinner tables and essentially like each of these carpets is its own, almost like its own wake in midair. You see, as you pass by one of the carpets, Assad slows and approaches the carpet, lands on the carpet, and kneels, and like looks like he's kind of praying. And he says, "Come, my friends." He says, "Eat. You must eat." And he says, "You must kneel."
Yeah.
And he's wanting you all to get on the carpet and kneel.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll follow suit.
Okay, so does everybody get on the carpet and kneel?
Yep.
Luther?
Yes.
Zach, are you frozen? Zach is frozen on my screen, I think. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's alive.
He's moving. He's moving.
Well, sort of. Oh, he was kind of frozen. Okay, so do you get on the carpet and kneel, Luther? With everybody else, kind of thing?
Most likely. That's what I'm
I don't know if
thinking.
he can hear me.
He's
Yeah, you
shaking
can.
his head.
Okay. All right, Kea, you follow suit. You get on the carpet and kneel and have something to eat from the roast camel. Yes? No?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you do. Okay. So all right. So, as you guys do this, Assad explains that refusing to kneel and eat from the funeral animal is considered a great insult. He says Mahomes' son vanished while gathering ice crystals from atop a nearby thunderstorm. He says the jinn collect these crystals for making a sorbet sherbet like drink.
Must be
We
some
have
very
to
sweet
select the
crystals.
best one.
What was that?
I say there must be some sweet crystals.
Oh. What did you say, Kaya? Shay?
I said, seems like a strange thing to risk your life for.
Yeah, yep. Well, he doesn't seem that it would be. He didn't think that it would be. That they would be gone. You notice that when you get closer to the landhold, isn't really a landhold. You realize that the land is essentially like a globe, and you realize it's water. And essentially, like all these, anything that's like a structure is basically on this water, like a solid globule of water. You notice that there's the sheik is in mourning, but in the meantime there is a oh no, sorry, I'm wrong. This is I was right about this being land. The other one is a globule of water, different place. Sorry. Okay. At any rate, when you go and you talk to Mahomes, he is in mourning, and he is you've been warned ahead of time, and he is like, what can Mahomes do for you?
Apologies for the intrusion, also.
He says
Um,
it is It is not an intrusion if you have come to mourn my son with me. He says, the more, the better.
Where shall I be at for you?
He says, what can I do for you? You are obviously here for some reason. He says, please, you have disturbed the funeral of my son, but you are more than welcome to join in the wake and mourn with me. He says, but please do tell me why you are here.
I'll explain. Abu sent us to ask him if he knows of any way to help get rid of the creatures that are headed towards the Caliph's palace.
He says, what creatures do you speak of?
The Idris, whatever they are.
He says, Ildris. He says, Ildris are a dangerous creature. He says, He says, yes, you will need my help. And, he says, come, you, large one. And he motions to you, Zach. He says, come, you, large one. And he motions to you. Can you talk to us?
He says,
still no mic?
He's typing.
He said okay.
Yeah.
Do you still have no mic? I see you typed okay. Do you still have any? Can you speak? Use your words. Oh, I heard something. What did you say? Trying to reach you. I'm trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. He said, I'm trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I heard you for a second.
He muted himself.
It was delayed like 3 seconds. It's real quiet. Oh, and now it's muted. Okay, so let me ask you just you can answer, go ahead and answer in chat if you want. He says, do you have a weapon? And you can tell he notices the large great axe on your back when he asks this. So he's kind of like, you dress funny? Okay. He says, I dress funny because my heart cannot contain how sad this occasion is. He says, thus is all the festive colors. He says, it tries to make my heart happy, but it fails. No, me?
No, you Fungin Master.
Yeah. Defungin. I am Defungin. So he says, show me your weapon. And when you show off the axe, he reaches out and touches it. And it is now a weapon of warning. Does anybody else have a weapon of warning?
No, but the Sebastian can't be surprised.
Right. Okay. So now none of you can be surprised. Now is Sebastian not surprised thing? Does that go over onto everybody or no?
No,
Okay.
It's just Sebastian.
Okay, so as long as Luther is in the party with you guys cannot be surprised. Because you hear his weapon, like, he says, here, allow me to demonstrate. And you see the Sheik raise his scimitar as if he's getting ready to attack Luther. And, Luther's axe, you can hear it growl like that, and everybody hears it like a super loud growl, like
Cool.
almost like a demon letting out a. Sorry, what was that?
Sword to warn us even when something invisible is about to attack us.
Right. He says.
And plus,
Well, say what?
Continue.
Okay.
Trying not to interrupt.
So yeah, so he basically will warn you by growling like this demon, like a loud demon type thing when you guys get close to something that's a danger to you. Well, some like a creature that's a danger to you. Basically, can't be surprised. So he says. He says, he says, I believe, a bold young sheik named Simet, the Freeheart, might be, behind the death of my son. He says, but I cannot prove this. He says, please, I require nothing of you. Go and slay these Ildris at your discretion. And he says, and let me go back to mourning. And he goes back to doing his own thing.
I have
go
a
ahead.
question.
Yep, go ahead.
Do they? I'm just looking at. I'm trying to observe the. Rituals. Do they add coins or anything to the sun? To the. Like on a burial.
There is you do notice that there is a centralized carpet, another huge carpet, like the size of a 80-foot by 60-foot room, and on that is what looks like a really ornate sarcophagus, highly decorated, with emblazoned statue type things on it, and all sorts of filigree. But you notice that the people have lined things up all around the edges of it, on top of it. People have, put all sorts of stuff on it.
Okay.
Anyways, so you guys are free to leave if you want and go fight the Ildris. You guys also could possibly inquire to Assad more about this Simet the Freeheart, the other sheik that Mahomes had mentioned. Any
How much time do
ideas?
we have left?
You figure you guys have at least 26 hours before anything bad starts happening to the Ben Abbas. And it won't be, it won't be like an immediate like death type of thing. It'll like he'll just be suffering pain like over time.
I'd like to help him get justice for his son.
You're gonna leave 5 gold pieces on the funerary rug. Okay. You see that there is a person, a bald man near the casket, essentially, like near the sarcophagi, or sarcophagus, and he puts when you lay the funeral or the tribute down, he puts like a flower lei type thing around your neck and anoints your head with oil, and says, Mahomes thanks you for your offering, like that, and And Luther, you will be under the effect of a bless spell. No piety because it's not with your deity. Besides, your deity is more about let's kill some things. I think I don't know. But
I don't even know what I get, how to earn piety for my deity.
I'd have to look it up. Probably. What's your deity?
Geb.
Oh, Geb. Okay. All right. Yeah, I could set you guys' piety stuff up. I probably have not done that. Okay.
I'm
All
tired.
right, I think we should go after the things in the cloud.
Okay. So
I
you guys
know-
gonna go fight
but-
the Ildris?
But Shay said she wants to learn more about the sheik that killed the son.
Is that what you said, Shay?
That's why I asked you how much time we have left. We can risk it.
Okay. Well, Assad says. Assad says, "This would not surprise me." He says, "While Mahomes was friends of Abu, he was also friends of the Caliph. But Semet is only friends of Abu. Semet the Freeheart rules the dominion over the Waterhold, and mostly just jokes about the Caliph behind his back." He says, "I could see him doing that." He says, "But I don't know that there is any proof."
What would he gain from it?
He says, "Well, he does not like the Caliph, and he knows that Mahomes is friends with the Caliph, so perhaps that is a motivation."
I say if we have time, we will circle. We will circle back. But that is, we have more pressing issues to deal with right now.
Okay. All right. So, what we're gonna do is, I know it's a little early, but let's set up this real quick. I'm gonna set you up here on this page, this blank page, and go to the map here. And it's gonna be one of these things. I don't know where it's at, which one it is. We'll use. Actually, you know what? We'll just use this for now. Maybe if it works. Come on, you can do it.
You can do it.
You can
You can
do
do
it.
it all night long.
Oh boy.
There we go.
What'd it do?
It's still loading, but we're gonna end the stream today, like after this. But I'm gonna get you guys set up to where you guys are up in the clouds,
About the fight.
about to fight. Also before you leave, I'm gonna set up like a magic carpet token, but you guys can also get a fly another either a carpet of flying or wings of flying.
Huh?
Oh, wings.
To be able to use in the upcoming battle, basically.
Wings.
Wings.
So people want
Oh, that's-
wings, do they?
Oh, that's
So you can see this is from Tom Kartos, does maps and stuff like that. Go check out his stuff on Google. But anyway, so we just got some clouds here, and then I'm gonna adjust the map size and stuff like that. But basically, you guys are just up in the clouds, like up in a like fighting amongst the thunderheads type of thing. And what's that?
Can it be the purple one? I like the purple one.
Well, that's going to be shortly after you start fighting. So yes, so that's going to be the Ildris get angry, so to speak.
Yeah. You're not throwing with all the lightning.
Right. So we got weather. We got where is it? Oh, moderate wind. Here we go. And then we got powerful wind.
Whoa.
Boy, who ate all the cheese?
And then we got some more weather too, because while you're fighting among the powerful wind, there will be some thunder and lightning.
Nice. Me likey. Me likey
If I
a
can
lot.
find the thunder and lightning.
Me likey. Me likey a lot.
But anyways, we'll end there today, and reconvene in 2 weeks. I'll have this maps up and ready for you guys to fight against some Ildris. Where is Thunder Crash? There we are. There you are. Okay, ready? I don't know if any of you guys can hear the sounds in Roll20 or not.
Well, I hope sounds off.
I can hear it.
Dude, I'm gonna keep this up and pass out to it.
Go to sleep to it, right?
Yep.
All right, so back in 2 weeks, guys. We're gonna fight some Ildris. See what that's like. Thanks for joining us here on Action Surge, where imagination collides with the roll of dice. We battle fearsome foes, forge unforgettable memories together, and as this session draws to a close, remember the journey never truly ends. Keep rolling those dice, weaving those tales. Farewell, adventurers. Don't forget to check out Action Surge 5e on all our platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. And until next time, may all your actions surge. I would also like to say happy birthday to Henry Jednick and my son, who just had his birthday a couple days ago. And James, there was a couple people you know that.
Yep. My other half that keeps me out of trouble, Chrissy. Her birthday was yesterday, and the
And
day
happy
before
birthday.
is
Happy
Chris
birthday.
Reddish. He's the guy that went to Iraq with me, and he had my 6 the whole time, so it was his birthday then.
All right, happy birthday to those people, and don't forget to check out $10 Games on Twitch. Every once in a while, he's got the games going and just talking about whatever it is he's doing over there. He could tell you, but his mic isn't working right now. Can you tell us that? Can you come in from the Earth thing? No. I don't know.
Oh, and Bubble Dragon Crochet.
And you said you had a birthday to share, Ashley?
Yeah, it was my brother's birthday. He's
All right.
35.
And Quinn's birthday is the 16th.
All right, and so we will see. Hey, we'll be back before Quinn's birthday, hopefully,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, and have a nice time, guys. Thanks for joining us again, and we will see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Gather round, adventurers bold in the realm where tales unfold. The podcast of heroes, a quest divine, where imagination takes flight. Let's combine. Roll the dice, let the story begin. Monsters and magic.